Hi, and welcome once again to What's the Damage, companion show to the incredibly well-known and popular real play D&D show, Roll for Damage. It has to be seen to be believed. So on Friday, the party had kind of a job interview, sort of, kind of, and they didn't bomb it. So spoilers, didn't bomb it. So Friday's episode essentially saw the Shields of Twilight having that long anticipated conversation with Lex Eterna and with Lex, and Fulton specifically, regarding the partnership of their two groups, which has been a bit strained as of late, and discussing whether their professional collaboration should continue or not. Despite it looking pretty dire at one point, ultimately they did manage to convince Lex and Lux that they should be allowed to come along to the lovely ruins of darkness, which sound just wonderful. I can only assume they'll have a nice spa day there and really bond. Um, get to know each other. This episode proves that while they may bicker, at the end of the day, the party will support each other and that they are worthy and able to stand in the face of the hardships to come. Good luck to them. Some of those hardships being absolutely grilling conversations that you have to have with scary ladies, but that's life sometimes. More grilling conversations to come in just a moment as I talk to some of the players about what happened. Stick around. As always, stick around after the stream for links, resources, charities, stuff like that. I'm your host, Truth Venson, and this is What's the Damage? Welcome back. Got three lovely guests for you tonight. We have got Caleel, who plays Baltaim. We have got Jake, who plays Oriana, and we have got Jay, who plays Campion. So, guys, there was no fighting this episode. What is the damage, though?
Emotional damage.
There was emotional fighting. Truth.
Surprisingly more damage than in a full-length fighting session. Yeah.
Not physical damage.
Not physical. No.
But emotional damage hurts more.
It does.
I feel like I feel like getting hit with an axe probably hurts a lot. But I've never been hit with an axe and hopefully never will be, so I can't speak as an expert on that. Anyway, so a lot happened this episode, despite the fact that it was spent in a single bar, more or less. But a lot can happen in bars. A lot happens in bars. But there was one thing I wanted to touch on before we jump into all the things that happened this episode, and is very tightly related to what happened this episode. So with Oriana, she did go and see Lex by herself without telling anybody, and it was a whole thing. Was Oriana actually unaware of the somewhat poor timing regarding her secret meeting with Lex? What does she want from that meeting exactly? And why did she choose to do it then?
If anything, Oriana was very much aware of the poor timing of the meeting, because she wasn't sure if they would ever get another chance to get to know Lux Eterna and try and become friends with them. So she really just wanted to, hey, let's have a drink, have a meal. I'd like to be your friends. Oh, maybe coming right now is not a good time when you think I'm trying to be sneaky. Oh, yeah, yes, I did lie to my friends about that. Oof.
Why did she not tell anybody?
She's a perpetual liar. Perpetual liar. Exactly.
Okay, we have what did Jay thinks? Why did she not tell anybody? It seemed like an odd choice.
I'd say it was 50% her just not thinking like it was something the party needed to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do you tell your friends every time you go out to do something? Like, doesn't seem like we need to.
But she did specifically mislead them by letting them think she was going to dinner with Cade.
Yes, that's the other 50%. She did think that they would try and stop her because she knew that this was probably not a great time to try and go be friends with these people that are questioning whether or not they should work together anymore. But Oriana wanted to try and be friends with them. She wanted to make sure she had a chance at that relationship before the chance disappeared, and she didn't want her friends saying no.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I know I understand what she was thinking. I think like I don't tell people anything ever. Pretty much in real life, I am a secretive person. Something you didn't know about me, but now you do. But if she wanted to keep this a secret, why did she then choose to tell Perry about it? Because Lex did tell her that she would not mention it, which means Oriana could have gone away with it scot-free, probably.
DM will have to confirm this, but I, and more specifically Oriana, had a suspicion that that was a test. That while Lex would probably be honest and not tell the group about her decision to come talk to them, that she probably expected her to tell the group that Oriana would come clean and try and, prevent these sort of fractures that Lex and Co were worried about in our group from becoming more permanent. So she wanted to fess up, and Perry has always been the closest friend out of the group. They've bonded more so, I think, than Oriana has with any other person in the group. Maybe Baltaim comes a little close. Quinn before all the friction, maybe, since she knew Quinn the longest. But yeah, she wanted to apologize to Perry and was kind of going there to get the strength to come clean to the rest of the group. Like, Perry is very much, I feel like everybody would probably agree, Perry is the moral heart of our group, at least in Oriana's eyes. And for her, she is a good source of information, or not information, but am I doing the right thing? Kind of, like, is this the right thing to do? Like, I'm so flustered and confused right now. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. So that's why she chose to apologize to Perry. And then when she kind of got that sort of support from Perry of, you should tell everybody, that's when she was like, yeah, I do need to tell everybody. It's not fair.
Interesting. Perry actually mentioned that later in the episode, sort of right at the end, that Oriana has been using her as kind of an outsourcing of her morals, and she didn't appreciate that.
No, I don't think anybody would really appreciate that. But for Oriana, she's come to realize a lot about herself in these past few days in game.
Mhm.
that she never really realized. She never thought of herself as selfish. She never thought that she didn't trust her friends. But her actions indicate otherwise. So does she trust her friends? Does she know the difference between right and wrong? And that's kind of why she needed that moment with Perry of what's the Altania version of Jesus? I guess come to Jesus moment for
Come to
Lux Eterna. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, you can have your pick of gods, so pick whichever, I guess. Interesting. It's a very interesting character dynamic that Perry and Oriana have developed because sometimes you do have like that weird friend who you're sort of codependent with, and it's not great, but you're really close. And Harry does call Oriana a sister, which is cute despite everything. So Oriana does keep ending up in these situations where she's kind of asking for forgiveness from her friends, from her allies, from strangers, from enemies, from gods. It's interesting because I think she really kind of does embody the ethos of it's better to beg forgiveness than to ask for permission. Was she always like this?
I hadn't actually thought about that, but kind of looking back on like her backstory and everything, I mean, she did kind of let a war criminal out of prison.
I thought she was doing the right thing,
I think with Oriana, a lot of her life has been misunderstanding either the people around her or the intentions around her, and just trying to figure all that out has kind of led her to this idea of, or this personality of, I will do what is best for me according to me. She ran away from home. She lies when it's convenient for her. Things like that. And that's what she's probably going to have to work on if she wants to stay with the rest of the group. Because that doesn't, that's not going to fly anymore.
Interesting. I mean, these are not bad character traits for a character to have. They're interesting.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely interesting. Yeah.
Lovely character growth, maybe, from Oriana. Okay, so that whole thing happened. Everybody talked. It wasn't a blowout like it normally is. But it did make everyone sort of reconsider what the strategy might be like going into the conversation with Lex, because there then was this thing which was like, oh, this is up the difficulty a little bit maybe for this conversation that we're going in. And I thought it was interesting in particular because Baltaim made the case to voluntarily cut ties with Lex Eterna rather than be told to hit the road, essentially. What was the thinking there?
It was an attempt to not destroy ourselves internally. Because if we were told no, and as it was kind of like that conversation was like kind of leading up to, we're kind of like arguing with each other, like what's the next step. It would be more of a like, we're taking a unified front, moving ourselves from this, because if we are told no in some sense, or if we, for Perry and for Quinn, to see for their mindset was so laser focused on the shackle, they didn't perceive any other avenues. And Baltaim felt like that would be solely blamed on Oriana. And if that was the case, they didn't see a path where they don't, like, Perry's people are tied up in this, like Quinn is very like solely focused on this. He didn't see a path where they would just let this go. And like, I mean, maybe they could end up forgiving Oriana, but like the immediate reaction, especially since Perry and Quinn are both emotional, reactive characters, he didn't think that they were going to be in like, oh, it's all right, we'll like pick up ourselves off the ground sort of, attitude about it. And like that could have driven a wedge from Oriana and everyone else, and like anyone else that tried to like protect or like understand or comfort Oriana.
Yeah, and Baltaim cares about his friends. He was actually very firm about that later on during his interview, where he was like, yeah, I trust these people I don't care if it's a bad idea. I trust them and I love them. Um, how did this really like come to be? Because this was very tonally different from the tone of a lot of the other characters' interviews where people were like suspicious of each other, like calling each other weak links. And Beltane was like, no, these are my friends, we're a team.
Um, just Baltimore as a character is very like, it's not confidence, but I mean he has a confidence about himself, but he's just assured of himself. Like he can waver on like opinions that he has about things because like I just haven't experienced it type of thing. But he is very like assured of like I trust my gut, I trust my instincts. Not everything will come out right as rain always because that's just how the ups and downs of like life goes. So he is very like, no, these people have been with me and stuck with me and like have helped me and my goals, and I have seen and like helped them with their goals and see that they have like reasonable like understandings and like wants in this world. So it's like I'm not just gonna like say deuces whenever something gets tough. It's gonna like the world gets tough on you sometimes. So like you kind of stick together because in his mind, like he's not a very like wishy-washy person. He's not like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna do that. He's impulsive, but he's not like, oh, I think this thing one time and then think this next time. He's like, oh, I think this thing, and until proven otherwise, I think this thing until otherwise shown. And so he has seen Oriana care and like try to do like, even though he doesn't agree with the way she does things, he sees it as this is her thinking, this is the best is what I can do to help us. It may not be right or it may not be like the thing he agrees with, but it's like she believes in that, so I believe in her that she believes in that.
Yeah, well, that's a very loyal character, I think. He's very loyal to his friends. Yes,
to a fault, which is good or bad.
Oh, he's a good boy all time. Little kitty with blue skin, which we're gonna find out why that is soon, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna find out some of his backstory. And save his sister from indefinite detention, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Poor Shy. Poor Shy. All this stuff is happening. She's just sitting in like a cell like, somewhere.
Well, guess I'm gonna play tic-tac-toe again for the 100th time now.
Yeah, training the rats. Yeah. She's probably in a decent cell.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice cell.
The one rat. Just one rat. Okay. So one thing I was wondering was the party opted sort of not to really hash out talking points before going to speak to Lex Eterna. Was that the plan always to just kind of go in and be honest, be yourself? Or was everyone distracted by Oriana's revelation, so people kind of forgot?
For me, I figured after the last session or the session before the last one, where Oriana was like gonna tell us about the her going to see Lex Eterna, my thought was always at that point after that, thinking about how each character was gonna react. I thought I was always gonna put out the suggestion of maybe we should just cut our losses and like remove ourselves. So if that was the case for me, I didn't have any talking points, and then when I got there, I was just gonna tell the truth anyway. So it wasn't really like a thinking process for me.
Yeah, Campion also, like, he had no talking points like whatsoever, man. He was just like, okay, I'm not really gonna talk, but like if I talk, I'm gonna be as, truthful as possible. There's no point for me lying, So yeah, that was Campion's quote unquote plan.
Back when we were still under the assumption that this was going to be a group interview, Oriana wanted to sort of coordinate and kind of talk it through, like, hey, what's our goal with talking to them? What are we going to try? We have to be a united front here. But as soon as Lex was like, all right, you first, come on over here. Oriana's like, well, shit.
I mean, it makes sense. That's what the cops do. They don't ever like let you talk in a group to like discover what your plan is.
Why you gotta know what you're gonna say or something.
Separate stories.
which is what happened.
Yeah.
It was fun to see everybody. It was like when they do confessionals, like in a reality TV show. It was like
Yeah.
everyone against the red background, being like, and here's what I think. So most of the party members did take the tactic of kind of radical honesty. I was wondering, like, when it came to your character and specifically, why did you think that was the best tactic? Obviously, it worked, but why that? Especially when you knew that this was kind of, you were being great as a group, not individually, and possibly what you said and whether that lined up with what other people said was part of the whole thing.
I mean, yeah, with Campion, it's like he has a very scatterbrained, so he doesn't have like the brain
ADHD icon.
capacity. Yeah, exactly. He
Make
doesn't have the
deceptions.
the brain
Icon.
capacity for like forethought in
Mhm.
the sense of like conversation. It's just like it's like it's like from point A to B, like the most logical like outcome of like, oh yeah, this is happening. Okay, this is what's gonna be the execution in
Mhm.
his standpoint. It was like, oh, let's talk. And Kimmy's like, oh yeah, I'm talking. And he's like, yeah, I'm talking. And yeah, this and that. And she's like, oh, what about this? And he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing, you know. And yeah, you know, it was just in his mind, it was just like, you know, uh, like when there's a question, he would just spit out the first thing that came to his brain. So yeah, like a goldfish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For
Love it.
for Baltimore, it's very much just simply that the way I've played Baltimore is he's not good at lying, so he tries his best to not lie. I think like I've lied like 2 or 3 times in this whole campaign, and like one was like the roof thing where I was like I was running away, like it was like that's such a bad lie sort of thing. Like he's like bad at lying, so it's like, or he'll like lie as like a joke, like he'll say something that's clearly like obviously not true. But yeah, he's more of just like I don't fear failure. So it's like he's like, this is to him, he was already coming into this like they haven't said that they just said they don't want to go to Shag with us. That's fine. Like that's not a bad thing. That's something that we can do something else and help still. It's not failure to him. So he's like, I don't feel failure in this situation. So I don't have no reason to lie. Just tell the truth of what I want to say or what they ask me. And then like try to not like just singly point out someone, because it's not just someone's fault. It's, you know, we all make this, you know, this pie together. We all make this mess together. So that was his thought process in that.
Oriana was just hoping that she didn't screw the pooch the night before.
Hey. Hey. Well, it turned out not to matter that much.
Not too much at the end of the day, I don't think. I mean, I think obviously, like, if she talked to Oriana, was looking for something, or, you know, at least giving her a chance to speak her piece before deciding. But I think mostly Lex cared about the rest of the group, and especially how, with the recency of Oriana's fibs, if they would still stand behind her as a group, or if they would just be like, nope, she needs to die.
He may not die, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was interesting was how willing everyone's characters, except for Baltaim, notably, was willing to criticize other group members in front of Lex, and how willing they were to be candid about what they perceived as kind of the internal dysfunctions of the party. I was wondering whether what they said to Lex, like in this little interview situation, was what they really believed about the party, and why they were being so honest, if it was. Because you know, an interviewer just has to pretend nothing's wrong.
Whole weakness is caring too much, you know.
Yeah, my weakness is
Like,
I work too hard.
Work too hard.
Work too hard. I never clock my overtime.
I'm too prepared for things. You know, it's
dedicated.
really just a.
I'm too engrossed. You know.
Yeah.
With Campion, it was just like, he sees like in his little journal, like, I mean, if he's taking people's head measurements, then of course, yeah, I feel like he has like a statistic, like actual like fucking
Yeah, he pulls out like a
sheets,
spreadsheet.
like spreadsheets and like actual functional character sheets, like in his journal. It's like, oh yeah, Quinn, you have this skill right here, but you're clearly lacking in certain fineries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like, in his idea, everyone has their faults. I mean, it's logical. No one's like fucking perfect, man. That's robot shit right there, man.
Only Greybone is perfect.
Exactly.
That's true.
He's the perfect organism.
He is the
perfect
definition of a
boy.
good boy.
Yeah, exactly. Good boy energy. So yeah, if you're not Greybone, you're clearly not up to snuff, dude.
Be more like Greybone.
Be Greybone, the almighty Greybone. He is my Lord and Savior.
Have you heard the good word?
That's our tagline. Shields of Twilight. Be more like Greybone. Yeah, I think in the same vein, fault team. Just like I don't. I see faults with everyone, but it's not the faults are not what make people, imperfect or whatever you would say. They make them people. They make them special, unique, and like not like just circles. They like have defined ridges and edges to them, and that is interesting to Baltimore. And he would be the last person to judge someone on something that they think is a weakness of theirs or a flaw of theirs, because he is a flawed individual himself. So that was just, he was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Oriana was just of the mindset of, hey, I got caught in a lie, so maybe I should just, be truthful, because...
She didn't, though. She confessed.
I mean, she got caught having lied to the group, to Lex,
She didn't get caught. I have
She
to
didn't caught.
emphasize that. I have to emphasize
She revealed herself.
Yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure Lex has about a plus 200 to her insight.
Yeah, but that's so... she's gonna tell us.
Exactly.
No, but she got caught. She had got caught with a lie by Lex.
Yeah, gotcha.
So her idea here is just, I need to be as open and honest as possible, because if Lex kind of sussed out I lied about something, then she's gonna know if I'm lying. Like, oh yeah, it's all happy rainbows and sunshine. Lex pulls out her pistol. Are you sure about that?
Oriana's pretty good. Deception.
Spin my wheel.
She's not bad. She's not
There's
bad.
not a bullet in here.
I don't know. It's so weird because like I like bad characters, so I want Oriana to lie more. I think it's fun. Anyway. So one thing that I thought was kind of hilarious was the fact that Campion, I think, genuinely hurt Fulton's feelings by being suspicious of him. He was so mad. I liked how the tea was like the tipping point for Campion. He was like, "Do you fucking like tea? Because we can't even talk. I can't even talk
bro.
to you.
I can't." He was like, "Yo, do
tea?"
you like tea?" And he's like, "I don't like. I mean, a little bit." He's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I can't. It's not gonna work out, man. This is why we're mortal enemies, bro."
I think Oriana's got one more good lie left in her, and that's, "Hey, Campion, drink this."
Yeah, dude.
Campion would fall for that, just
dude,
because he's so paranoid about tea specifically.
Exactly, dude. Man, he better not taste any fucking leaves or some shit, dude. It's over. It's
done.
There wasn't even a single leaf in this beverage.
The ring's gonna explode on you, dude.
Amazing. Yeah, he's got like tea contingency plans. So how does Campion feel about Fulton after actually talking to him a bit and seeing that Fulton was a bit irate about
seems
Campion's
Fulton's
suspicion?
a little soggy, bro. Can't handle a little heat in the kitchen, my guy. What's going on, Fulton? Really? Oh, you get a little hurt in the booty. Okay. No, I'm joking. Serenity, please don't kill me. No. I mean it's cool, man. I mean, I'm honestly an agent of chaos. So like, I mean, I do feel like
Yes.
like Fulton's like, yo, dude, what the fuck, bro? I'm trying to be cool, and but it's just like Campion, man. And me playing Campion, like there's got to be like nonsensical bullshit when I play a character, and that's Fulton, and just Campion's just utter disgust of him.
He's the nicest NPC.
I know, dude. He's the nicest one. And he's like, oh, you think you can science more me, bro? I'm the science boy.
To the side. Oh, good shit.
I would like to respond to anything Jay is saying at like any point, but I just literally can't.
No, I'm insane, dude. I'm insane. I love it.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's good.
Poor Fulton.
I know.
He's gonna have to deal with this like all to the ruins.
Dude, he's gonna have a
mental
break.
I just want Fulton just to be the big bad evil guy and not even like come and like attack us. He just like, all right, I did all this, I'm gonna kill Campion. And we're just like, you know what? That's fair, Fulton.
Yeah, like right at the end of like after you've defeated Varus doing whatever, Fulton just turns to Campion. It's like, okay, we're gonna fight now.
Yeah.
It's like
This is unrelated.
And then everyone just looks at Campion and Fulton's like,
they're just
go ahead.
Hey.
It'll be a best of 3 contest, and tea drinking will be the last one.
Oh, you fucking bastards!
Evil.
You make tea drinking fucking a I'm done. Campion would rather die.
But we now know what the Original's plan for us is just to, keep us away from like a lake of tea.
Eternal torment is.
Yeah.
The shackle of darkness. He's just gonna walk in, teacups everywhere.
He's like, I can't go in there.
Dobby's getting torn limb from limb over and over again, and then just Campion. He's just like, hey, like Tharsdoon's just sitting at a table, is like just sipping the tea, dude. Just the mint's really good, and it's like, no.
How about some nice chamomile?
I love it. So Campion, I thought was kind of a sweet reason for like wanting to save the world. He was like, well, I want to see it. I want to learn about it. And even if I die doing that, I kind of wanted to exist so it can be seen and learned about. So talk a little bit about like this motivation for why Campion is still on this grand quest, which he sort of stumbled into halfway through.
Yeah, man. I mean, like now that there is no longer a metaphorical ticking clock, and there's now it's now actual ticking clock. Campion, it's just doubled down on his on his mindset, and originally it was just about kind of the just idea of just like, I need to figure this out. His ingrained kind of drive was like, I need to see the world. And then like, I guess like interacting with like Perry and the rest of the group, and they're like, yeah, we're trying to save the world and figure this shit out, and like Thar's doing, and now he's getting involved, and he's like, oh, this is now way beyond just, oh, I'm gonna die, and I might not be able to finish seeing all the things. It's like, now the things might no longer exist. So like, if there's someone else like me, they won't be able to see the things, and so it's like, I have to now save the things for the next me.
Save all the things.
I have to save all the things. And with Campion's fucking ADHD, dude, it's all the things, So then he's like, okay, now I gotta fucking make sure that at least try to help them on this quest of insanity. Yeah.
Neat. I forgot to mention there's no topic for today because there's so much to talk about. Should have mentioned that at the top. completely forgot. Then we got into a conversation. I couldn't find a good pause. Awesome. So during like your guys' interviews with Lex, she was quite harsh with a lot of you, which turned out to be part of the test because you will be tested mind and soul in the Ruins of Darkness, you know. But I want to ask about a few specific things that she accused you guys of and whether you think those are fair. She accused Baltaim specifically of being naive. Do you think that's true of your character? Does Baltaim think that's true of himself?
Was he naive?
I think to a degree, yeah. I mean, so there's like knowing you don't know something is not really naivety. It's just like, you know, you don't know this, but like there's things he just doesn't know, and there's things like he thinks he knows, which, you know, that would be a form of naivety in my point of view, I think. But yeah, I think he is very naive. He's very trusting. And again, those can be good or bad things depending on like who is, like she said, who is exploiting them, who are you surrounded with? Because if you are surrounded with good people, they will like, oh, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't like just do something stupid because he just doesn't know he's doing something stupid. And then there might be people that are like, oh, good, you're dumb. I want you to go do this for me and come back to me with this thing. And you just like broken like 10 laws and like have destroyed like 10 shackles and just like didn't know about it. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. I just think that he is comfortable with that because he is, like you said, he trusts. In his point of view, he's like, I'm not the one like leading the charge on this. I'm entrusting myself to you all because I believe in you all being able to like together we can like come together and stop this. But he's very aware that like I'm not going to be the one that's like I'm the one fighting Tharizdun by myself type of thing. He's like, this is going to be all of us, and if I'm a piece of that, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with just playing my part.
Jay, were you asking something?
No.
Yeah. I'll say he was also a good boy. He is, I think, the spiritually closest to Greybone. If you will let me do that. What was I just gonna say? Okay, so for Oriana specifically, Lex called out the kind of fraught relationship that's happened with Quinn. And specifically like how surprised Lex was by it, despite the fact that Quinn saved Oriana's life that one time at great personal cost to him, that their relationship has kind of fallen apart like this. What has Oriana's thoughts on this been? Because she's been kind of watching as this relationship has fallen apart. Like, was she trying to be closer to Quinn after the life-saving incident? Did she want to have a closer relationship with him? Did bad things just keep happening and she couldn't stop them, which happens all the time?
I think the fact that right after that was when Oriana started to intentionally mislead the group in certain instances, and Quinn was getting frustrated with her for that. I think that kind of had a lot to do with why Oriana wasn't trying to improve the relationship with him. Because it seemed like no matter what she did, whether it was for the good of the group or not, he was just getting mad at her. So it was very much a like, I would like to be your friend, but you're also yelling and screaming at me every time we talk. So I don't know. She wants to rebuild that friendship with him now that she really understands what it is that she was doing wrong and how she was hurting everybody. She wants to rebuild all of those relationships. And she's a little bit hurt by Quinn's callousness, though she understands it.
He hasn't quite mean to her.
Well, just with the like, he's not talking to her right now.
I mean, he's been actively mean to her.
Well, that too, yeah. But like with the current stuff, I mean, it's she wants to rebuild that relationship because he is a friend, and she does want to stay his friend. She doesn't want to lose him. But she kind of understands that that's not really her decision to make anymore. So she's going to work on just trying to be a better person and trying to not lose any more trust from the group.
So does Oriana blame herself for that relationship falling apart? Because she has done some things, but honestly, Quinn's kind of bullied her a bit.
She sees them sort of equal at blame. Neither one of them, in her eyes, has really tried to fix the relationship since it started breaking down. And in her mind right now, that kind of shows like, okay, well, we both could have been better people about this. So while she is still sort of hurt by all of the mean things he has said and done, she wants to try and make things better on her end, because then at least she can say she's tried. If Quinn doesn't want to accept any of that, and that's going to be a problem, then she'll understand and she'll respect it, and there'll be colleagues instead of friends.
You know, you people at the office you don't like sometimes. It happens. So one thing that I thought was interesting was later on, Lex actually defended Oriana a bit to, was this to the group or was this to Quinn? I don't remember. I think it was to the group. But one thing that has come up over and over again is Oriana's pattern of...
It was Perry.
Was it Perry? It was Perry.
Yeah.
It was Oriana's pattern of deception, whereas Lex pointed out that this is maybe not as strong a pattern as everyone is saying and has been saying. What do you think about that?
That's very much what Oriana's argument has been for her behavior leading up to this point was, hey, I understand I've been lying a lot more to you guys, but at a lot of those lies were, honestly, I thought we were in danger and that you guys would just continue walking into the danger if I told the truth. So in her mind's eye, especially like the cave, I don't know how it always ends up going back to the cave. I guess because that was probably the first time she actively lied to her friends, or at least chose to. But like in that cave, like it legitimately, like we just potentially survived a death trap. I barely understood anything in that message. I think we should just get out of here. And if I tell everyone that I understood a word of that, we're going to sit here, we're going to try and figure out this thing, and we may fall into another trap, and we're not in a good position for that right now.
Yeah. I mean, I can't recall 100%. I don't think I even gave Oriana shit for that, like the cave thing. I think I just like, okay.
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
Quinn definitely did. Perry definitely did.
I think for Baltimore, it was just like the last couple of days, or in like Zuma, a little bit of Zuma, but it's like I understand, like, and like Baltimore was literally, well, I think that's Campion also like followed to make sure, but Baltimore was the only one that like jumped into the situation and got himself literally in the same thing with Oriana and like tried to go to the library for Oriana, like tried to like help her, even though like he kind of understood like she was not telling him something, so it was like best way to find out what someone's doing is just come with him. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, let me see what you're doing. Like, let's hang out for a bit, or like, what are you doing so I can like come and hang out with you. So like I feel like that's why Baltime's now like super, like he hasn't been hard on Oriana. He's like this last two has been like big because it's been like back to back in like less than 24 hours, and it's like also like a actual like lie, like you like clearly just didn't like try to tell us this thing, and like that's not good. We should talk about like fix that. He said it the day before, and then like she did it again. So it's like now it's like, all right, I said something to you and like you didn't listen, so like say it again. If you don't listen from here on, then there's gonna be a little bit like once is like okay, sure. Twice is like you're pushing on thin ice here.
Exactly. It's like wow, really? Like I just told you this. Like you're gonna
twice in 24 hours.
Come on, man. Come on.
Girl.
If it was like once and then like a few months later, another time, it's like okay, I can like it's not too big of a deal, but it's like it was like back to back, so it's like okay, this is a little issue we got here going on. Try to cut that out.
Yeah. To be fair, Oriana has been extremely stressed out.
Yeah, and and that was like the whole thing of like Baltimore saying like I want to help you. I will try and Oriana or Baltimore and like I think Felix Sinrick and Campion too Campion really recently too have like mostly been the ones that's like, hey, Quinn and Oriana, or Quinn and Perry, like in fairness, Oriana, like she has points, sort of thing. So that's like
yeah, I feel like like the three of us have been kind of the neutral party, like between the whole thing, especially Cynric. Cynric's been like the old man in the boat, man. He's just been like, he's just been like chilling and watching, and be like, he's like, yeah, but also this side too, and then Campion was like, we need to, stay together and like cohesive, get this shit done, because if not, it's gonna get worse, and then like we're most likely gonna die again,
And that's
it was
pretty
just
bad.
yeah, dude. And then that's what I like when for Campion, like for like that time, it was just like he was like, really, like, yo, like this situation's starting to get like out of hand. And then he was just like to Oriana, it's like, yo, like I'm trying to help you, but like I can no longer endorse you if this behavior like continues, because then and now it's detrimental to like everybody. And then it's just like, it's like, this is the point, the changing point, the precipice, because especially how fucking Quinn react, he was just like, I'm out, bro. He's like, I'm out. I was like, or Campion was like, oh shit, okay,
I see.
This is a new development. things have escalated to the point of no return. Okay, understood. I need to get in now. But yeah, that was on that part.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing Campion being kind of a voice of reason and also attempting to peacekeep a bit within the party. Like, it's not the regular role for Campion, who is an agent of chaos.
Yeah, exactly. It was not in his death.
He was like, this is slightly too much chaos. It's more chaos than I want.
Yeah, no. This chaos is no longer in my benefit.
This is
roll back the chaos.
Listen, I like spicy food, but did you have to put the whole bottle of sauce on it?
I think it's interesting that our agents of chaos are usually, not all the time, usually the
now they're being the voice of reason, and I'm just like, okay, where did this game go to? What happened? What happened to fucking simple things when it was Dobby and fucking multi-team investigations?
Yeah, investigating shit and just fucking fucking things up.
You're doing drugs and now we're the adults, dude. I'm like, oh fuck me, bro.
After the campaign's over, we should get a what if one shot of Dobby surviving.
Oh, dude, that'd be fucking awesome.
Oh my god.
What if Dobby didn't get eaten by a worm?
Yo, man.
I think he joins Tharistoon, but by accident.
Hey, buddy, I can help you kill that butcher.
Yes. I like what you're saying, Tharistoon. Can you also make me rich? He's like, yeah. It's like, okay, cool.
He's like, I'll give you all the acid you want. All the acid and explosives you want.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I only ask one thing in return. You drink this cup of tea.
Dobby would do it.
Oh, Dobby would definitely do it.
Everything I could ever want if I drink tea.
Oh my god.
A little bit of leaf in that one.
Well, a little grainy. A little grainy in the. It's all right.
Love it. What was I just going to ask? Okay, I have so many questions that we're not going to get to. Oh, well. One thing that I did want to ask, though, was Lex, one thing that she said was she was kind of puzzled by the group was that, I'm paraphrasing, was that all the hardships the group have gone through have not really given them the intimacy that she would expect. Do you think that's a fair criticism of the group? Is that true? And if so, why?
Yes, I do believe in that sense, because it's been where it's been kind of, we're all kind of going into sections of people's kind of involuntary storylines, because then it was Perry's, and then it was going to Quinn's, and then now it's Baltaim's, and I feel like now it's going a bit into, now it's Oriana and going into Cynric's next. It's been, I feel like, chapters, and it's with those chapters it has been opening up, but I feel like it's been like back to back, and then also like in the rearview mirror of just like, you know, the world is potentially ending. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, shit, we need to get this to shit, we need to go, we need to do this, we need to focus. You know, we barely survived, but you know, we did it because some of those contract, those combats were a little too clutch, you know. So
A little intense.
a little intense, man. And it was just like, okay, cool, boom. You know, I feel like we in those points of like where like very like in-depth character development between characters could have been like accomplished. We've been kind of like really pushing like it through, you know, in order to try to get the job done, you know. We're not the heroes that the world deserves. We're kind of the heroes that, the world got dumped with. So it's so then we're just like, oh shit, we need to hurry up.
Also,
and
our
figure.
tagline.
Exactly. Holy shit, man.
Oh,
Jay
so many
back at it
taglines
again,
tonight.
dude.
Yeah.
Back at it again, man. But yeah, it's been just like us trying to reach the occasion as quickly as possible, but it's by skipping steps, and then those steps that we skip have been detrimental to needed character interactions.
Yeah, I feel like it's fair. I feel like it's fair, but I feel like we just haven't tried.
Balti's been trying.
Yeah, Balti's been
trying.
probably
He's
the
been trying.
most that's tried. I think I've had like interactions and like hanged out with at least everyone in the group and like learned a little bit about at least someone, like everyone in our group. And I think that's just like Baltine's like nature's like smell the roses while we're on this like travel. Like you gotta like, we're doing something important, we're doing things, but like we can have a night off. We can like have a drink in a tavern like we did last night. And like I wanted Baltine really wanted us all to be there, but he's not gonna like, oh, Orion's going on a date. I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't do that. It's like, no, I want my friend to like, if that's what you want to do and she's gonna have fun, like I want her to have fun. But I like he's like really like trying and tries to like get that like little intimate like moments with everybody's group because it feels like it is important because like we are like gonna need it to help the world in some sense, but like it's been kind of hard because Simmer's kind of closed off a little bit, although he's opening up like every session, and like Campion's the new guy, but I'm like trying to like understand him, and Oriana's in like the Quinn situation has been like, okay, well, which friend do I hang out here? Because like if I hang out with this friend, they're most likely this friend's not gonna come with me, sort of thing. So it's like kind of like pick and choose like when to like get everyone together.
I definitely feel like we haven't really taken the time. I mean, we've gotten to know each other a little bit, and with most of the group going on that night out to drink and have fun with each other, I think they've made a lot of progress, that part of the group, but since Oriana wasn't there. But for the most part, I think we're all just vastly different people, and we still really haven't accepted that for the most part. Like when Cynric talked about how, he sees everyone as soldiers, and maybe, oh wait, they're not soldiers. Maybe we shouldn't be, all thinking this way, or trying to remember other specific examples. But I think a lot of us in character have sort of compared up the other characters to our own characters' experiences. And we haven't gotten the time to really get to know each other, I don't think. We're kind of like at that point in the movie where the good guys have to really decide, are we going to be able to work together, or is this just going to fall apart because we can't trust each other? And I don't think we're that dire. Like, I don't want to make it sound like we're at that point.
Episode, though?
But kind of. Lex was kind of bringing us in to just kind of give us that kick in the pants for it. But I think we're at that sort of point where this relationship either crumbles or it comes back as strong as it should be at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, it can't crumble because you're the main characters, so. just keep that in mind moving forward. Very insightful, though. I think talking about how the characters are kind of judging each other by their own standards and not really meeting people where they are. Interesting. I hadn't actually thought about that. Oh, geez, we're so close to the end. Okay, so congratulations, guys. You did pass your job interview. Are your characters relieved? Are you happy about this? Because a couple of you were like, it might not be bad if we do split ways.
I don't think anybody really thought we were going to split ways. I think it was just more or less a question of, are we going to be on our own, or are we going to be?
Oh, I meant with Lex Eterna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Oriana's relieved because she knows she has a very logical brain when it comes to thinking about these things, and us not working with Lux Eterna is not as good as us working with Lux Eterna. Whether it's for the information, the fact that they're powerful allies, doesn't matter. I mean, she doesn't think, oh, we need them babysitting us on every time we go out to the store or whatever. But if we really want to help stop Tharizdun, we need their advice, we need their knowledge at the very least. And the last time we were in one of those shackles, we had 3 of them essentially come up, and we still almost got into really hot water. So what's going to happen if we just go in alone? Are we even going to survive? Is anybody getting out of there?
I'm all teams hesitant, I think. I think Lex definitely like one of the questions Lex asked him was really like, I did not think about this at all, and like that is sort of scary to him.
Oh, to let your sister die.
Yeah. That's just because like me as just having like a family, like a sister, and like being a middle brother, that's like a hard like question to ask, and like how do you think about that? How do you even like process that, like that happening? So he's like, I mean, this could be a good thing or a bad thing going where we're gonna go. And then he already also kind of like senses the like tension between Quinn of just like, I'm cut off from like Oriana. I don't like care if she comes or not. He doesn't know that's gonna be helpful. It probably won't be, but he doesn't know necessarily it's gonna be hurtful either. So he's like, this might actually just be more dangerous because of this situation. So he's like, he's not afraid necessarily, but he's like, well, it didn't seem like Lux Eterna or Lex was saying, you can't help at any point. You can't do anything. You like just fuck off. He's like, no, we just don't want you here for this sort of thing. And like, we could still interact with each other, but this is just not the place for you. And he understands like there are steps into these certain things. There are levels to this. You don't like have to just always like jump into the deepest end. You can learn step your way up to like the deepest end. And he's like, okay, that's understandable. That makes sense. So like, if that's the case, sure. But he's not afraid necessarily. He's just hesitant. He just let's see how this works out.
Yeah, with Campion, it's just like he can discern that Lex and Lux Eterna themselves have had to do some very dark shit in order to get things done. And Campion's capable of that, honestly, in the aspect of like him technically not being all there and just being able to kind of see the world for as it is, and like there's checks and balances for everything. So he's just like, yeah, sometimes you have to do kind of bad things in order to get things done to protect the people you care about.
Like going at bars.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's just like he knows that Lex would be capable of. Well, you can discern from that. And he's just wondering, can the rest of the group handle that extreme, or will it become to where they would be a forced crossroads and how that would kind of end up, because of like certain lines they wouldn't be able to cross. And so that's where he was really worried about continuing this kind of like cohabitational relationship as it is now, because I feel like there's going to be a point where shit's going to get real, and I don't think the rest of the party are going to be able to handle it. Yeah.
Interesting. So Campion's like, well, I'm willing to split some throats. I'm not sure about these guys.
He's like, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to.
I'm ready.
Get
I'll
the blood
start
down,
murdering
bro.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I got explosives right here, man. And start chucking it.
Yeah. Where's the grenade need to go? Love it. Okay. So while you guys did manage to convince Lex and Lux that you should go along to the ruins, there was a period when it seemed like maybe you hadn't, and she just kind of let you sit and talk amongst yourselves. And I did see that the group sort of like, this is what Caleel was talking about earlier, and I think Jay as well, sort of split off into two sections where it was Sinric, Campion, and Baltaim being like, okay, this is not the end of the world, we can keep doing stuff. Perry and Quinn being extremely emotional, and Oriana being slightly more on the emotional side. So one thing that Sinric was saying that I thought was interesting was sort of the idea that you guys could be kind of support for Lex Eterna doing other more local type of things, which are important but not quite as flashy. And Baltaim and Campion were sort of agreeing with him a bit, especially Baltaim. I was wondering, would your characters and would you actually be content to leave the main plot to NPCs? Because to be clear, mechanically, the ruins are the main plot.
Yeah.
More or less.
I don't see it like that. I don't see it as we're leaving the main plot.
I also don't see it as the main plot too. As Campion
I mean,
said before, this is a long-term campaign, bro. Like, this is a war that's going on between Thar's dude and the forces fighting off Thar's dude in all senses of the word, man. I just feel like we're fighting chunks we can handle, man. We're not punching above the weight class. Yeah,
I think we're leaving the key and door main part of the plot to the NPC, or we would have been leaving like the lock and key part to NPCs, not necessarily the main plot of like the original. Because I don't think any of us was gonna like, all right, well, let's just get rid of these fucking marks and just skedaddle.
let's go.
Time to go live normal lives.
Yeah,
exactly. Man.
The only thing I would say to that, and Oriana kind of made her point, was that even if we were comfortable doing that, being more of like a support in doing our own research, taking care of the little guys, trying to figure out how to cleanse our marks, all that kind of stuff. Lex Eterna basically kind of made it sound like, oh, it's an all or nothing thing. We're either willing to work with you, or hey, if we run into each other, we might exchange some information, but don't talk to us, or it's the classic, don't talk to me or my son ever again.
That's not.
I don't think they said that.
Well, no, I think that was a possibility.
Specifically was like, yeah, I want you to do like your own research. Like, I want you to like have knowledge. Like, I want you to help us in like other ways if you can. Like, we need help, but it's like I understood as you just can't help us with these shackles. These shackles we will take care of. You can do anything in between that. Just we have the shackles under control right now, and you guys will do anything else we need you. If you're over here and we're like, hey, we're in a trill and you're over in the Free Kingdoms, we need something done over the Free Kingdoms. Can you guys do this for us? If you can't, we understand you're not beholden to us, but like if you could, this would be help us. And if you have any information, tell us, let us know.
But that's my point. It would kind of be on Lux Eterna's terms, like how much we get involved with what they're doing and the shackles and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, we're kind of sort of already on their terms, to be fair. They have the information.
Would they be able to stop you if you wanted to get involved, though? Like,
I mean, they're all.
And that's why I think
you can nose your way in, like without.
That's why I don't think they are trying to stop us.
If we
outside of like killing us, which they don't want to do, yeah. I feel like we'd be like the little brother
to
like,
quest.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, it's like, yo, pass me the controller, I can handle this, and they're like, yo, fuck off, I
just the way it was presented to me, it did not seem like they they would be actively sharing information with us anymore. And that's what freaked Oriana out, because if we're not even being shared information anymore, we're completely self-reliant. If we want to be involved with this anymore, we're tying our feet together and shooting ourselves in the foot before the race even starts. And that's what worried her, is that we're not being taken out. They're not saying we can't do it, but we're at a severe disadvantage if we don't have access to their information, if they're not willing to cooperate when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but true. But then you have to understand, they were at our point. They weren't like, they didn't start out where they were. They were at our point when we started too. So like they grew into that. So that means they gathered information. We could have gone through similar channels to also gather that information.
I don't disagree with that, but my point being, it would take us longer, and that's time that the world may or may not have. We don't know.
I feel like also, just particularly on Tharizdun, which I mean, I don't know because we haven't asked them anything else, but they seem to only have knowledge on just the shackles anyway.
Yeah.
We actually have more like knowledge of like things that are happening outside of the shackles, like the Herald and stuff like that. So it's like, even without their knowledge of the shackles, again, we're
figuring shit out.
We're kind of even level anyway. They seem to not know, and like Les said, there's information that's just gone from Tharizdun. So it seems like we're on even playing field anyway. It just seems like the shackles is more of the things that they have information and knowledge about.
And the temples and doing the things in general to keep them.
And again, I don't know for sure because we haven't asked further because that's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, the shackles are kind of super important.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's what everyone keeps waving about. Maybe there's like some secret shit we don't know about, dude. That's like maybe the shackles are just a piece of the puzzle.
They probably are.
Exactly, man. Puzzle pieces are out there, man. We still don't know about the individual, the
Herald,
the goth guy,
the Herald, the one in black, man.
Not the guy, the them.
The
one in black.
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing.
The sexy one,
the one with the staff.
Yeah, the one with the staff and the leather pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, the kiss impersonator.
Exactly. We don't know what their deal is, man. There's pieces all around here, and I feel like we'd piece it together. I mean, maybe not as, I guess, as efficiently as we'd want it to, but we would. I'm pretty sure we would figure that shit out.
Because we already have like loose things that kind of even tie to our backstory that has somewhat to do.
Everything's connected, bro. Everything's connected. We just gotta follow the lines.
Which the Lux Turner have no idea about. So like,
it's fucking crazy.
Man, so many plot threads. Let's see where they all go. Oh geez, we do have to wrap up. So are you guys excited for the Roots of Darkness though?
Oh man.
That's a word for it.
Are you so excited?
I just don't want to have to make another character.
Can you tell by my voice the joy that I have for the Runes of Darkness?
Oh my god, maybe Baltane will die for the first time.
No, don't put that on me.
Shit, dude. What
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
I said that. I was like, this is bad voodoo.
Is he the only one who has him?
I think so.
Yeah, I am. Quinn
hasn't died. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
I said it.
No.
This might help me. This might help me, but like, this is bad voodoo. I don't know if I should say this or not.
Lordy. Okay. In that case, that is our time for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining me to talk about all the stuff, and we'll have more stuff to talk about next week. Is next week one of the ones where we don't have a thing? Okay, the week after we're not gonna have a thing, but next week we are good, according to the DM, who is, as always, in our earpieces feeding us lines. Fully scripted. The show is fully scripted. Anyway, yeah, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to tune in on Friday to see what happens next as the heroes maybe start their journey, maybe do some other stuff. We'll see. It'll be exciting, whatever it is. Then tune in on Tuesday for when we talk about whatever happened on Friday. It is cyclical. We are the Ouroboros. It's very sexy of us. Check out our Twitter. We are still doing that wonderful art crawl, and you want to see all this art. It's seriously so good. So many talented artists. Check out our our Twitch, we've got some brand new clips, which Jake did for us. So look at our funniest moments, and also some Let's Plays that Serenity does, and or not Let's Plays, just streaming games and stuff. I think, what were you playing, Serenity? You were playing Boyfriend Dungeon? Boyfriend Dungeon. Watch Serenity play Boyfriend Dungeon. It's great. Check out our YouTube. We have all of our backlog of episodes. You can start from the beginning if you're new. You can start from the beginning if you're old. You just want to rewatch everything. It's great. There's a lot of content. Check out our podcast. That's just this, except it's audio only, so you can listen to it at work or while you're driving or showering or whatever you like to do while you're listening to podcasts. Check out our Patreon. We have exclusive behind-the-scenes content, including the stat block for the social encounter that these characters just have.
Actually, really cool.
It's very cool. It's really
it.
cool. It's really cool. It's only $1 per month. So check that out. Is that everything? Am I forgetting something? Oh, we have a store. We have t-shirts and stuff. They're really comfy, actually. Thank you to Sunbird and Lady Meows for doing our music and our logo. We love them. They're beautiful. And thank you to all of you. I hope you have a great night. Good night.
Peace. Jay's
Yeah, Jay's already gone. Good night. Good night, Jay.